Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Shreyanshi Bhatt and this is our final lecture of the CSE 101 playlist. So in this lecture, we are going to talk about the various roles that you can pursue after completing a CSE degree. So let's go. Okay, so first is a web developer. Now what does a web developer do? They build websites, portals and web apps. So there are two technologies, front end and back end. So for front end you need to learn things like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React, Angular, etc. And for back end you need to learn Node, Django, etc. Now what happens in front end is all the designing part and how your web application will look. So that is front end. And what is a backend? API management and all of that. Like what will happen if you click on a button? Where will the data get stored? And all of those things are handled by backend. So yeah, if you know front end and backend, you can become a web developer. There are also like niche roles like a front end developer and a web backend developer, which are like specific to just doing one type of thing. And okay, and if you know database plus deployment, like a bit of DevOps over front end and back end, then you can become a full stack developer. Now full stack developer handles both front end and back end. So they are end-to-end product builders. Why end-to-end? Because they are also managing the database and the deployment. And they are in high demand at startups and big tech. Why startups? Because we will start from the base and go till the end and do everything in between. So that's what a FSD does. Okay. Now you can also become a code language developer like a Python developer or a Java developer, maybe even Rust developer and all of that. So what you will do in those roles is that you will write core logic in that specific language, which can be used for like backend purposes, scripting purposes, core API focused or like fintech and all of that. So that's what is a Python or a Java developer. Okay, so now a game developer. Now what do game devs do is that they build games using various engines like Unity, Unreal Engine or native engines. So that requires the knowledge of graphics, physics and logic. Why physics, graphics and all of that? Graphics you can understand that we need to design all these visuals so that you need the knowledge of graphics. But why physics is because see, if you have a game character and if you want to make it jump or if you want to make it run and all of that, so you know how to, if you want to make it look realistic, so then you need to know physics like how will acceleration work, how will gravity work and all of that. Okay, and logic understanding, like how the winning logic will work and all of that. Okay, now a really popular domain these days is AI and ML. People go goo goo gaga over it, we all know about that, right? So what an AI ML engineer does is that they work on machine learning, deep learning, NLP, computer vision, etc. Now what are some tools that are used? Python, or there is a language called R language, so you need to choose between Python or R. And then TensorFlow, Scikit-learn, PyTorch. So TensorFlow is by Google and PyTorch is by Meta. Okay. So all of these are ML tools, and roles are in healthcare, finance, big tech and even research. Right? So that's how you can become an AI ML engineer. And basically you will train large models or maybe use like LLMs, pre-train them and modify them, fine-tune them. That's what an AI ML engineer does. Okay, so there's something called a cloud engineer or DevOps engineer, and what they do is that they manage cloud systems like AWS, Azure, GCP. GCP is Google Cloud Platform, Azure is by Microsoft and AWS is by Amazon. So they handle deployment, CI/CD pipelines and the scaling of applications. Now see, so let's assume that you are a businessman and you have a bakery and now suddenly your bakery becomes really popular, okay? Like people are going crazy over it. Everyone wants to buy from your bakery. So the demand surges, right? So now you need, if you have a cloud, if your infrastructure of your application is deployed on a cloud, so then the scaling gets really easy. So who does that? Like who creates a cloud infrastructure for your application? Who will migrate it? Who can, like if you want to change your cloud provider, who will switch the cloud provider, help you in migrations and all of that? Who will create your continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines and all of that? So all of that is done by a cloud engineer, or we can say a DevOps engineer, right? Let's move on. So here, for DevOps specific, you need to know like Kubernetes, Docker, Kafka and all of that, okay? Yes, so another really popular field is cybersecurity. And what does a cybersecurity analyst do is that they protect data and system from threats. So ethical hacking, network security, encryption, etc. All of these things are managed by a cybersecurity personnel, right? Now, see what happens in ethical hacking is that there are three types of hacking: white hat, grey hat, and black hat. Now, what do black hat hackers do? Is that they will just break into system for personal gains. What do grey hat hackers do is that they will hack into a system, but then they will inform the responsible person of that system that I have hacked your system. It has these limitations, and you need to make this more secure so that other people cannot break into it. That's grey hat. They don't do it with permission, but once they have hacked into it, they will inform that okay, this vulnerability is there in your system. And what do white hat hackers do is that they have full permission, okay? They are licensed to break into systems. In fact, companies even hire them so that they can like break test their applications and all of that. So that white hat hacking comes in ethical hacking, right? So you will break into systems and like see if there are any issues in there, and then you will inform the person who is responsible for that system so that they can fix those issues. Okay, so another extremely popular field is software engineer. And see, what they do is that they write scalable software across domains. Now, what does this mean that across domains? So, software developer can create web applications, mobile applications, embedded applications, desktop applications, etc. Right? So that is why we say across domains. So they can create all sorts of softwares and they are not limited to just one type of knowledge, okay? So that's the most general and widely available role. Yes, so what does a mobile app developer do? As the name suggests, they build Android and iOS applications for the mobile phones. Now see, for the native one, you can use Java, Kotlin, or Swift. And for cross platform means that it will work on all devices. So that's Flutter, React Native. Okay, so that's how you will design all this mobile applications. Yes, now a data analyst. What does a data analyst do is that they will analyze data trends, build pipelines, use tools like SQL, Python, Tableau, big data tools and all of that, okay? Power BI is also there for like data visualization purposes. So what does a data analyst do is that they will have a lot of data. Now they will analyze this data and give helpful insights for the company. And so they will present it as like graphs and charts and all of that. So that's what a data analyst do. So they will help the business to like show them what are the key insights and everything, and it will help them grow. Okay, now these are not the only roles available. There are obviously a lot more roles in after which you can pursue after a computer engineering degree. Like there's also blockchain developer, Web3 developer that you can say, and like a lot more. Okay, information security personnel, and then what else? Like you can also become a CTO of a company if you have that much of like achievements and all. There are a plethora of fields available that you can pursue after CSE. These are only a few that I could explain in this video. So for our next playlist, I am thinking of making a playlist for the Blind 75 for everyone who wanted me to make videos on DSA. So if you want that I make a playlist for Blind 75, please comment below this video that you need a Blind 75 playlist. So that is it for this last lecture of our CSE 101 playlist. I hope you liked it. Please don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to make this beautiful grandma happy. I hope you have an amazing day. Bye bye.